Takes on play action, gets Tony out in space. Tony jukes it, 5 yards on a touchdown. Florida not going away.
You know, they say the right choice sometimes is the obvious one. And when you go back, you think about the process for hiring Dan Mullen. You guys also looked at Chip Kelly and Scott Frost. Do you ever just kind of think to yourself, why wasn't Dan just my first choice?
Well, you know, I had some unique issues there because Dan and I haven't been in another school before, and candidly, I was trying to be respectful of that institution, which probably affected my judgment more than it should have at that point in time, because Dan obviously is a perfect fit for Florida.
Down in Orlando, you got a lot of fans that will love to see the UCF-Florida matchup. It's been talked about a lot.
Jordan from the pocket, loops into the end zone, diving catch for a touchdown.
Is there any scenario that would make you consider just a one-off neutral site game versus UCF?
You know what, we're open to anything. The challenge with scheduling is what may be a really good model for one school has got to match with the other school.
You guys obviously have your reasons for wanting to do 2-for-1s with a school like UCF, but do you see the other side of it for Danny White, and do you respect kind of his commitment to his philosophy even in the face of so much criticism?
You know, I respect anybody doing what they think is best for their school, and there's no hard feelings or ill will, and you know, Danny and I get along fine, and I'm very fond of the White family in general, and I think Danny's done a phenomenal job.
So the series continues.
The Florida-Georgia game, how long is that locked into being played in Jacksonville, and are you looking into the possibility of playing it on the campuses or at other neutral sites?
We're in Jacksonville for the next 3 or 4 years, and Jacksonville's been a great home for that matchup for many, many years. And we're always going to keep an open mind, but our hope is deep down that game will remain in Jacksonville.
Felipe Franks, airborne, touchdown Gators.
You served on the College Football Playoff Committee. How long are you back for?
I have 2 more years.
Okay, so what did you learn most about the process in your first year on it?
There's a real priority placed on let's be as fair as possible, and not just with the 4 teams in the playoff or the 12 teams that are in the New Year's Six Bowls, but really we take it as a badge of honor to try to get that top 25 as accurate as we believe it should be, and what the results have reflected.
And Florida with a dominant performance in the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl.
Do you look forward to the possibility of being recused from Florida conversations in the college football playoff this season?
Absolutely. That's I was recused whenever they got to the Gators, and which means we were in the conversation to be ranked, and it is radio silence. Nobody talks to you about your team. Nobody asks you what you think where you think your team should be ranked, and so you leave that room and you have no idea what the people in that room are saying about your team, and you come back in, you look up on the wall, and you see where they placed you.
Pat Welter is with us now for tonight's edition of The Foul. Pat, Florida hoping to find itself in the college football playoff this year, but let's not sugarcoat anything. There were several off-the-field incidents this past spring that put the program in a state of jeopardy. What does Scott Stricklin think of that?
Yeah, I asked Scott Stricklin about that as well, and probably the 2 most talked about incidences this spring were the quarterback Jalen Jones accused of sexual battery twice in one night, Assistant Director of Player Personnel Otis Yelverton arrested for cyber stalking, not charged. Both are no longer with the school. So simply put, Scott Stricklin concerned that's not something they want anywhere near their program. But he did keep coming back to this one phrase, which was championship experience with integrity and holding people accountable. And that's what he said he really appreciates the most about Dan Mullen, that he holds people accountable, that yes, young people are going to make mistakes, but if there are consequences, it can actually make the program stronger. So overall, Scott Stricklin really happy with Dan Mullen, the direction of the program, in spite of these incidences this spring, and actually believes there's a ton of positive momentum heading into the fall.